Welcome back to Hofstra University. We all remember that moment. I want to first introduce our new guest, Kristina Schake. She is joining us with the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Great to be here.
And Steve Chagaris, our political editor, is here as well. Guys, we just saw one of the most, I wouldn't call it electrifying, but it has stayed with the public for many, many years. Lloyd Bentsen, Dan Quayle, and that zinger that was a layup. You were there, Bob.
You can't imagine how it was, and I'll never forget my brother who had come up from Texas, and he was sitting out in the audience, and I was back on the camera stand, and he turned around to see my reaction and fell right out of his chair. I've never, in all my years of covering politics, have ever seen a moment.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has. And yet the Bush-Quayle ticket went on to win the election. So
people vote for a president.
Right, exactly right. All right, so Kristina, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate it. I want to ask you, the debate preparations that Secretary Clinton has been going to. We learned this weekend that Philip Rines is playing Donald Trump.
Yes.
And I was speaking to somebody earlier, and they said, nobody perfect, nobody better to play Trump than Mr. Rines. Why did you choose to go with him?
You know, he is a person who's known Hillary for years. He was a close aide of hers at the State Department and when she was a U.S. Senator. He knows her, but he also has a big, boisterous personality, and so he was kind of built to play this role. So she thought he would be the perfect person to stand in and help her prepare.
What did she push? Did he push her a little bit? Did he?
You know what? They prepared for everything because, you know, you don't know which Donald Trump is going to show up tonight, right? In previous debates, he's been insulting and rude to people, so you got to prepare for that. Our expectation is he'll probably come a little more subdued tonight.
Well, we can just tell you right now, I'm being told in my ear that Hillary Clinton won the coin toss.
Yes.
So she will get the first question tonight.
She will.
So that's, I don't know, Bob, how does that work? Is that a good thing, or receive or kick off? What's the better,
you know, some coaches think one thing and some think another. Gary Patterson at TCU my school, he always lets the other team kick off. So I don't know what I would say in answer to that, but the way this will work, Vlad, is, you know, the moderator will ask a question, and she gets the first chance to answer it and gets 2 minutes, and then he gets 2 minutes to basically answer the same question or respond to her. And this is where we get into this big controversy about what should the moderator do. I would say, and as I've been saying, I think it's unfair to both candidates if you don't give the candidates the first chance to fact check. And then if they don't, if you think it's important, then you get in as the moderator. But I guess I would say the person who gets a chance to speak first.
Yes.
I mean, what do you think? I would think
I have to
that
tell
would be
you,
the
she is
best.
excited for tonight. She's eager to do this.
Yeah.
You know that she's a person who's debated many times. She really likes this format. But what she's really looking forward to tonight is a chance to talk directly to American voters and getting to make her case of why she'd be the right choice to be President of the United States. I think going first gives her a really good chance to do that.
I mean, do you think she'll just ignore him over there?
You know, we'll see what Donald Trump shows up. You know, his advisors, we think, have probably told him to try to act a little more presidential, to perhaps be a little more subdued. But what we think is really important coming out of tonight is this is not a chance to grade them on the curve, right? This is not about who's most improved. This isn't could he act a little better and be less rude to other people. This is about which of these candidates really has a command of the issues and which of these candidates come forth with real plans to make a difference in people's lives. That's what Hillary Clinton's going to do tonight, and she's really looking forward to the opportunity to do it.
How do you approach prepping for debate in which both candidates have such high negatives? I hate to ask such a negative question, but it's a unique situation with both of these candidates. How do you prep Secretary Clinton to deal with that, to speak to Americans who really don't think very highly of her or her opponent?
You know, I actually appreciate you asked this question because a lot of people talk about her unfaves and these things. For her, this is really a chance to talk directly to voters, and she's going to talk to them about her experience, the passions of her life, what she's worked on. You know, this is a woman who's a children's advocate running for President of the United States, and so she's going to talk to people about the fights of her life and really talk to them about her plans and what she would do as her president. She's going to work really hard to earn people's vote.
But arguably, she's been doing this on the stump, and the numbers haven't gotten much better. So what is different? I mean, this is the largest audience she's likely going to have to this point. So what is different tonight?
Well, I think what is different tonight is we're going to have millions of people tune in that haven't really been paying as close of attention. And so this is her chance to make the case directly to them. And that's her plan to go in there. You know, she's been working really hard preparing for this. Because she respects the American voter and she wants to be prepared to get out there and make her case, and that's what she's going to do this
Now, will
evening.
Mark Cuban be on the front row?
He is going to be there tonight. He is a strong supporter of Hillary's. Someone who knows both of these candidates really well, and came out to endorse her and said that she believes she has the best economic plans to really grow this economy and raise wages in this country. He knows Donald Trump well and believes he just doesn't have the temperament and the fitness to be president of the United States. So he came tonight because he's been a strong supporter of hers, and he's going to get out there and talk about why.
Put him up there on the front row. Will he be on the front row?
I think he
Is that to rattle Donald
Yeah,
Trump?
do you have an assurance that he'll behave himself?
For Hillary,
Cuban's a pretty colorful guy.
Yes.
I have
Colorful
to say,
is a good word.
Colorful is a good word, but I have to say for Hillary tonight, she's just focused on these two candidates. This is their chance to talk directly to the American people. She gets a chance to go first and really make her case. And we don't know what Donald Trump's going to show up. But we know what Hillary Clinton's going to show up, and that's a strong, steady leader. And the American voter's going to see that up on the debate stage
Kristina,
tonight.
if Lester Holt chooses not to be a walking Google, walking Wikipedia, and fact check every single thing that Donald Trump says, will she become that? Will she fact check him? Which may not leave enough time for her to talk about her policies, but at least sets the record straight. Is that a strategy she?
That's the dilemma of tonight, right? Because we have an unprecedented situation. We have a candidate who has a hard time telling the truth and exaggerates and says a lot of blatant falsehoods as part of just the premise of his campaign. And so this is different. We've never really had this before. The PolitiFact said 70% of the claims that they fact-checked him on were actually false. And so puts her in a situation where certain things she definitely needs to call it out, because otherwise we have a lot of people who haven't been following this campaign. This is their first time to see these candidates, and it gives an unfair advantage if one just blatantly lies and that isn't fact-checked in the process. So we expect she's going to be prepared to do some of that. We hope the moderator does some of that, and we hope in the evaluation after this, that's a criteria that people look at.
Why do you think it is that many people, these polls suggest, don't trust her either? Why do you think that
This is something she has spent a lot of time thinking about. It's obviously personally hurtful to her. This is not who she is. This is not who people who know her well would ever say about her. I think it's of a number of things. She herself has said, her husband said she's been at the forefront of a lot of issues about change for a long time. And, remember in the 90s, there were millions of dollars of ad run against her in her fight for health care. And she has also said herself that she's made some mistakes too. And email, I think, would be one of those. And she's been fairly forthright about she made a mistake about that. And so I think, but again, I think at the end of the day when people go in to vote, they've got to decide which of these candidates they trust to work on behalf of their family in the Oval Office. And we think that choice is going to be Hillary Clinton.
All right, Kristina Schake, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Steve Shigaris, Bob Schieffer, as always, we thank you both.